Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To go back to this ADBS in and out issue, Mr. Graham, you're aware that, because you mentioned the time period, that this recommendation for mandating this was made a long time ago. So the point is, you support that recommendation, correct?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, so the issue is, why wasn't it adopted? And the question is, in the FAA safety bill, we tried to get a larger role played by NTSB in getting an annual report on the highest risks that need to be addressed. And that has been implemented. And my guess is that you would say that this is one of the highest risks if it's not implemented.
I believe it's one of the higher risks, yes.
Okay, so the point is, what else do you think that NTSB can do? This is a gap, right? This is a gap between a safety organization that has to spend all of the time on the details and a regulatory agency that seems to, in the last decade plus, try to ignore those recommendations. What else can we do to further get this implementation as a priority? What more can NTSB do?
I think at this point, we can just, all we can do, it reminds me of positive train control. We advocated for that for 50 years. This is 20-some years into this now with ADSB in technology. All we can do from the NTSB is continue to advocate for our recommendations and hope the regulator or this body does something and ask for the regulator to go ahead and make it regulatory in this case.
Well, the problem is our regulator hasn't been doing it. That's the big problem. And this, on ground incursion, basically, it was the chair who I purposely made come to a hearing and sat right next to the then acting administrator to call him out on why he hadn't implemented that recommendation. So, and then finally, he held a forum 2 days later and said, oh yeah, we should implement this. So in this case, sure, I called the chair before a committee and had her ask him the question, but why does that have to happen? Why can't we, we need an aggressive NTSB. I get it. We're trying to change a big bureaucracy here for sure. But at the same time, we need the answers to Senator Cruz's questions made it seem like you were hesitant to advocate for this technology. And you may not want to advocate for an actual implementation in a bill because you may or may not know the details of various implementations. Senator Cruz and I disagree right now on, we want it implemented. We're like, well, this is way too long. We want it implemented now. So I get it, but at the same time, I need a more aggressive NTSB on calling out the lack of implementation by the FAA. We just do. We just do. And I'm sorry that that's the case. I wish we had a more aggressive FAA, but apparently we have people there that are right now rewriting the rules, trying to be more light touch again. So,
if I could answer that,
yes,
Senator. It's not that I'm hesitant. What I'm hesitant about is talking about anything as ADSB's role in the DCA mid-air accident. Yep. I do not want to influence that investigation. We need to stay.
Okay, I get it. Okay,
yeah, but I am totally into it.
Did you see anything wrong with Alvin Brown? Do you think did you see anything wrong with his behavior at NTSB?
Senator, all board members serve at the pleasure of the president, no matter who the president is.
I asked you if you saw anything wrong.
And from my standpoint, Senator, I have very little interaction with most of the other board members because the way our board is set up, the way we rule on things. So I had very little interaction with.
Okay, thank you.
With him.
Dr. Klein, we have to go to, I disagree with his firing. Dr. Klein, tell me about quantum, and do you believe that we need a National Quantum Initiative Reauthorization Act? This is something Senator Young, Durbin, and Daines and I have worked on. I plan to reintroduce it this Congress, but do you think we need a broad initiative here to be aggressive?
Senator, thank you for your question, and certainly quantum. To me, there's a lot of discussion about AI right now, and I think rightfully so. But quantum is something that I don't think is talked about enough, and I know that this committee has been very much involved in that space. The National Quantum Initiative that was signed into law under the first Trump administration was a priority then, and I know that these actions to both further the R&D for quantum, but more so move towards commercialization and applications is a critically important matter at this time, and something that, if confirmed, I'd be very happy to work with your staff and this committee on.
And could you, for the record, answer a question related to that on fusion too? Could you, for the record, put something in what you think we should be doing on fusion? And Ms. Myers, if you could, my time's expired, but if you could, for the record, the Bureau of Economic Analysis, you mentioned a lot of things in your testimony about things that you think that we need to be broader on. We cannot have disagreement about statistics. I don't think we should have disagreements about science. I mean, science is science. We should listen to scientists. We should listen to engineers like your dad, who was a Boeing engineer. We should listen to these people. But in this case, I want you to outline how you prevent the administration from undermining the statistics. So my time's expired, so you'll have to do it for the record, but thank you so much for your willingness to address that. Thank you.